Now, the past couple of years has been extremely hard for some of us, but at the same time, the past couple of years has been wonderful for others. And we hear this phrase being thrown out a lot nowadays. Well, not just nowadays. Feels like since the beginning of time. The rich keeps getting richer and the poor keeps getting poorer. But would you believe it if I tell you that being rich is a decision and at the same time being poor is also a decision? Because if you go back to some of the videos that I've actually released on my other channel talking about finances, I documented everything I was doing. And I was also talking about, hey, just in case if anything happens, in case shit hits the fan, I'm making sure that I'm really prepared. So in 2020, when the pandemic happened, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. Now, don't get me wrong. I know a lot of people lost their lives and I know it's been horrible for most people, so I'm not glorifying all the negative that happened to other people. I'm just glorifying some of the positive that happened into my life. But honestly, when you think about it, it was a decision. And I just feel it's because I was prepared, which got me the results that I got after the pandemic. There's a famous quote that says, success is where opportunity and preparedness meets up. So I was prepared and then I found the opportunity, even if it may be negative. So let's really take a deep dive in this statement, why the rich gets rich and the poor gets poor. And what can we do to decide which fate lies before us? And we're starting now. If you guys love to talk about personal finance and mindset, you guys want to help support the Urban Lifestyle channel, start now by subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Making sure you guys hit that notification icon so you guys get future notifications of my future videos. Make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, it's highly appreciated, and comment your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, when I say the word poor, there's an aura around that word that's just extremely negative. So if you feel that when I say the word poor, it's a reflection of yourself, you should be ashamed. No, I'm just kidding with you. I'm messing with you. There's nothing to be ashamed about. Just understand that, hey, it's probably a decision. And you should be real happy that you're watching this video because now you can actually change that. So what are some of the habits? What are some of the mindset that rich people have and poor people have that gives them the results of their lives? Well, one thing is the poor wants the cheapest while the rich wants the best value. Now, when I say value, the meaning of the word value can be in the eyes of the beholder or the ears of the beholder. Because the best value to someone who's rich could be something totally different to someone who's poor. Like for me, for example, something that brings value to my life is something that creates income or appreciates in dollar value. So 10 years ago, when I was buying clothes, when I was buying Jordans, I would look for sales to buy because I wanted to get it at the cheapest I can get so I can save up on more money for me to buy the next thing. But now my brain totally flipped and did a... What the... Guess that's my brain. My brain totally flipped and did a 160. Instead of me looking for the cheapest, I look at anything that I buy nowadays, what value does it bring to my life? That can be stocks that pays dividends or appreciates in value. That can be this camera that I'm recording to you on. It could be my multiple computers that I use for my work. And to me, it's not about getting it at the best price. Now, believe it or not, if I can get it at a good, decent price, I will. But it's all about the value that it brings to my life and my pockets. If you tell me right now I can buy a car for $5,000 and it lasts me 10 years, but then on the other hand, I can buy a car for $100,000 and it'll last me my entire lifetime, my son's lifetime, my grandson's lifetime. I see an opportunity where I never have to buy a car again and I can put as much miles as I want and give it to my son and my grandson. And I feel that that $100,000 will go way further than that $5,000. Value that I'm receiving with that $100,000 is way better than the $5,000. And then we move on to number 2. While poor people wants to save money, rich people wants to invest money. And the reasoning behind both of these situations is an oxymoron. While the poor wants to save money because they feel like investing is too risky, the rich wants to invest money because they feel like saving is too risky. Now, which one is right? Yes, all of investing is risky, but history shows that the prices of asset has only gone up within the past 100 years. Yes, there may be a short-term crash, there may be a short-term recession, and there may be a short-term correction. But if you look at a 100-year chart of all assets, you only see that is only in one direction, and that's up. Versus if you look at the strength of the dollar, you'll only see the history of it is that it diminishes. This dollar right here, next year, will probably be worth this much. And then in 10 years, it'll probably be worth this much. And then it'll be worth this much, and then this much, and then this much, until eventually, yeah, I know you guys heard me throw it on the floor, but still, it's nothing. Now, this is not theory. The proof is actually in the pudding. It's just that sometimes that poor people are just so short-term minded that they can't see 5 to 30 years from now. And the next thing is that poor people love to buy liabilities while rich people love to buy assets. Now, liability is anything that you buy that depreciates in value, like my brain. No, not this brain. This is actually an asset for me, trust me. I mean this brain. I bought it for $5, but I can probably sell it. People probably won't buy this from me. Or maybe if I do sell it, it'll be worth $1. But let's talk about something that everybody knows. People like to buy cars for $30,000 and financing it, but by the time they're finished paying it off 5, 10, 15 years later, it's worth 75% less than when it was when you first bought it. But when you look at an asset, which is something that appreciates in value over time, is where some people would much rather take that $30,000, put it into a stock or any other asset, and over the span of 5, 10, 15 years, it grows in value. So that $30,000 is probably worth $50,000 to $60,000. So in a nutshell, poor people love to buy stuff that makes them feel good about themselves now, while rich people love to buy stuff that makes them feel good about themselves 10, 20, 30, 40, 60 years from now. Now the next thing is poor people get paid little for their time, while the rich gets paid to solve problems. Now honestly, I haven't worked a little over a year, but do you know how much a company would have to pay me to leave my family and take my time to work for them? It wouldn't be worth it for them. Now why is that? Because within the past year, I've earned more money than the last 3 years of me working a job. And it would actually cost me money to actually work for someone. And you look at someone like Elon Musk, who felt that there was a big problem as far as gas cars, and he's solving a major problem that he feels needs to be solved. Steve Jobs said that, hey man, people are using too many devices. I'll solve this problem. I'll create one device that does it all. And you're kidding me? Apple's the first company to hit $3 trillion market cap. Apple nearly took 30 years to hit $1 trillion market cap, and 12 to 18 months later, it hit $2 trillion, and 9 to 12 months later, it hit $3 trillion. So you can't tell me rich people don't get paid big time for solving problems. And last but not least, poor people like to worry about stuff that they can't afford, while the rich ask themselves, what do I have to do to afford it? Two different mindset. One is you're actually blocking your brain from exercising and figure out the way to solve the problem. And the other one is you're actually allowing your brain to actually solve the problem. This is one of your biggest muscles. Use it. 3 years ago, I was like, hey man, a house is quite expensive. What can I do to solve that problem? 3 years later, I'm like, hey, you know what? Houses are not as expensive as I thought they were. But of course, if you're looking at the housing market within the past year, maybe it still is. But that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. But hopefully if you guys found value in this video, don't hesitate to smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, hit that notification icon so you guys get future notifications of my future videos. You guys can find me here every Monday and every Friday, sometimes on Wednesday if I'm not lazy. I post a short Monday through Friday, so make sure you guys check that out. And also check out my social media platforms. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a beautiful day. Why the poor keeps getting poor and the rich keeps getting richer? And to be honest with you, are people gonna get offended when I say poor? Because poor sounds like it has such a negative meaning to it. Like, I don't know, it has a negative aura to it. Oh, you're poor? Let me check your heart. Let me find out. I'm poor. I'm poor. I'm poor. I'm poor. Yep, you're poor. To change your mindset, you must first have to change this. Right here. Right here, you see? This is called the Undumla Amaglata. And I'm saying it wrong, but yes, the Undumla Amagata. If you change this and bring it right here and wire it here and go over here and go over here and this right here and bring it here and bring it back and dump it right there, you'll be rich. I said the word poor so much, and I do believe that life and death is in the power of the tongue, so allow me some time to actually speak wealth into my life. I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. Yes, I'm not just rich, I'm wealthy. I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. Oh, look. You speak it into existence, guys. You're looking at a guy who actually took his paycheck, the entirety of his paycheck 10 years ago, and going to the strip club and spending all on strippers. I mean, come on. I wanted the Jordans. I used to buy Jordans. I used to buy clothes. I used to buy so much stuff. This was my mindset. That was me. I was broke. I didn't have any money. I had money, but I didn't see it that way. It was like, man, how do I make more money for me to spend? I want this lavish car. I want to do all that. And that's not the mindset to have.